Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Eid al-Adha edition of Newsnight. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, police in the Savannah region arrest one of two women captured in a viral video whipping a 90-year-old woman. We'll hear from her as she explains she did so because she was under a trance.
I was then dragged to the old woman's house. I don't remember beating the old woman.
Also, Mahian community in Tema thrown into a state of shock after a 28-year-old mother allegedly killed her two children by feeding them rat poison.
We just reached and they said Abigail told him that she killed her kids. So he has to go to his room to check. So as the woman go to his sitting room to check, so the kids lie on the bed.
We'll hear from the police and residents as well as an expert recommending psychiatric analysis. Also, don't be used as pawns to perpetrate electoral violence. The message from government to the Muslim youth as they mark Eid al-Adha festival.
Our communities should no longer be a place where the violent-minded people will come and hire people to propagate their agenda. This must be a thing of the past.
And in business,
Tourism Minister Barbara Tingesi rejects suggestions current investment laws discriminate against those who invest in that sector.
And later in the bulletin on Spotlight,
well, Kuzumbu Wazo is actually saying that come and let's party, come and let's have fun.
we'll hear from music group which has literally hijacked Salah days in Ghana and have for years entertained us with great hits. I'm talking about VVIP. I'm Araba Koomson. Thanks for your time. Now, police in the Savannah region have arrested one of two women captured in a viral video whipping a 90-year-old woman. The 32-year-old Latifa Bumaye was smoked from a hideout at Kejewu Boto, a suburb of the East Gonja municipality, following continuous surveillance by the homicide unit of the Ghana Police Service. In the video, she's seen whipping Ikwa Dente, who was accused by a priestess of witchcraft. The death of the woman sparked widespread public condemnation. Gender Minister Cynthia Morrison, who visited the community last Thursday, cautioned the residents against taking the law into their own hands.
So I asked myself, what happened that fateful day? What came into the minds of these beautiful people sitting here? And because in the video, the gathering was just like this. And nobody said anything, but people were just cheering us. I am a Christian. I see a lot of you in my... I know you believe in Muhammad. You believe. I believe in Jesus Christ. Muhammad is bigger than any witch. Jesus is bigger than any witch. So if somebody is a witch and there's a law, do you take the law into your own hands and lynch the person?
Well, in a video which has surfaced on Facebook, the suspect, Latifa Bumaye, said she was not aware of the actions at the time. She explained she did so because she was under a trance. Listen.
I was unable to walk and was in so much pain. My neck became stiff. I started crying. Then a tall man came around and held me tight. He blew a substance onto my face and I suddenly fell into a trance. I was then dragged to the old woman's house. I don't remember beating the old woman. The last thing I remember was that I was in a cloth. But when I gained consciousness, I was in clothes. I asked my mom if I was the one beating the woman. I just could not believe it.
So that's a 32-year-old Latifa Bumaye, the latest suspect to be apprehended by police in the Savannah region. Now, to Temanaun, the Mahian community there remains in a state of shock after a 28-year-old mother allegedly killed her two children by feeding them rat poison. The 28-year-old suspect, Abigail Abufia, confessed she poisoned her 2 children, a 2-year-old girl and an 8-month-old boy. She was arrested after a 77-year-old priestess, Avioto Apronti, alerted police when the suspect visited her.
Whenever she comes out, she's always with the children. And so this time when she came out without them, I asked her where the children were. And she couldn't answer. She only said she was now free. I asked her again where the children were and why she was saying that. But she refused to answer. Then I asked my child to call the police immediately because I realized the woman had an evil intent.
Another resident, Eric Tete, recounts what he saw.
We hear the noise from the area where the fetishism lives. So we just go out and we think that maybe something's happened to the old lady. So the old lady, we just reached her and they said Abigail told him that she killed her kids. So we have to go to his room to check. So they asked the woman go to his fetishism room and check. He said it's true. So we just come here to see that it's true. In the door we saw the kids lying on the bed. That they are dead.
The suspect is said to have told police she could not cater for the children because their father was not providing for their needs. ACP Paul Frimpong is the Tema Region Crime Officer.
Yesterday, 5:30 p.m. that we had information to that effect. So some of our officers went to the scene and noticed that there were 2 children on the bed who were pulled when to the touch. And they also realized that they were foaming from the mouth. So they asked of the mother, they got to know of the mother, and the mother said the children had fallen the previous week and had taken them to hospital, and that the medicines that the hospital gave them, that is what he was giving to them. And the night prior to the incident, they had given them some of the medicine. But when they woke up, he realized that the children were still sleeping and they were cold. So she had to go and tell the mother, and the mother asked 2 of the children, elder children, to come and see what was happening. So when they got there, they also realized that the children were dead. So that was what he was telling us. But when we saw that they were foaming from the mouth, we had suspicion that probably they might have taken some poisonous substance. So all the substances that we suspected to be medicine or whatever were taken by the police for further investigation.
So what will make a mother take the lives of her own children? Dr. Eugene Dodoi is a consultant psychiatrist.
I've had a similar case in the hospital where the woman actually killed the baby because she said the baby was crying too much. So she only used a rope to tie the head of the baby just to stop crying. And the baby died. So these things are common. And until we invest in mental health care, we screen for mental health conditions like this. Because from the report, this lady had symptoms which we saw earlier, but nobody thought she needed attention. It goes down to how mentally illiterate. So we have something called mental health literacy. As a country, our mental health literacy is very low. So when people show obvious signs of mental illness, we don't pick it up to even help them. It's quite unfortunate that the first thing we think we should do is to arrest her and send her through the criminal procedure.
Dr. Eugene Dodoi is a consultant psychiatrist. Let's head to the Eastern region now. And police at Oyoko have taken up the case of the death of a second-year student of the Oyoko Methodist SHS in that region. The female student is said to have collapsed while writing exams yesterday and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Eastern Regional Correspondent Maxwell Kudako has been following this, and he joins us on the line now. Maxwell, we understand school authorities have been invited for questioning. What more can you report?
Well, so far, about 40 students at the Oyoko Methodist Senior High School have been interviewed by the police just to unravel the circumstances that led to the demise of young Jennifer Doku. We are told that the young lady complained of headache somewhere Tuesday, and she was treated. She was given some painkiller to take, and she never complained of ill health after taking the painkiller. She collapsed on Thursday while she was writing her exams, and she was rushed to the St. Joseph Hospital in Kofodia, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Police says that the matter is still under investigation, so they are hopeful that in the coming days they will unravel exactly what caused the death. The body presently has been deposited at the St. Joseph Hospital pending autopsy at the hospital.
But what's the mood at the school itself? How are students and teachers reacting to this sad incident?
It's a very sad atmosphere. Most of her peers say that Jennifer was a very lively student. She would smile at even the highest provocation. We are told that she used to be one of the lead singers in the school choir. So she was like more liked by most of her peers. So a lot of the students who are on campus, even the final year students who are still on campus now, have been thrown into a state of mourning. They are very sad about this.
All right. Thank you so much for that update. Max Okudiko is our Eastern Regional correspondent with that story. And the story is that the police at Oyoko are beginning investigations into the death of a second-year student of the Oyoko Methodist SHS in the Eastern region. Now, government is tonight committing to ensuring that the December polls are devoid of violence. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who joined Muslims to mark the Eid al-Adha festival, wants the youth to turn down cash offers to engage in violence. This was after spokesperson for the Chief Imam, Sheikh Araba Koomson, had stated that the leader of the Muslim community wants to see an end to violence at the voter registration centers.
Though the ongoing voter registration exercise has been relatively smooth in most areas, it is also true that the exercise has witnessed some disturbing and scary security challenges. Most disturbing among them are the shooting of guns at some centers and the stabbing of an innocent citizen of our country. Such acts of aggression during simple voter registration must be condemned seriously. In the light of the above, we would like to use this opportunity to urge the security agencies to expedite investigations and punish perpetrators of the crime and lawlessness if they are found.
Sheikh Araba Koomson speaks for the Chief Imam. We can now listen to the Vice President who has been addressing the issue of violence.
If Ghana is revered across the globe as a shining example of democracy in Africa, it is because of how we have generally conducted ourselves peacefully in previous elections. We have to maintain this enviable reputation, and it is important for all stakeholders to ensure that we maintain peace. We enjoy the peace we enjoy in this country. We in government have a responsibility to ensure that, and we pledge our commitment to that. I want to take this opportunity to appeal to the youth of the Zongos to reject being used as pawns to perpetuate political violence. Our communities should no longer be a place where the violent-minded people will come and hire people to propagate their agenda. This must be a thing of the past. We are fortunate to have our father, the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nur Sharibotu, an icon of peace we can always draw inspirations from to eschew violence. I urge every Zongo youth to emulate the peaceful nature of our father wherever you are and ward against acts of violence. Regardless of your political affiliation, politics should not be a barrier between you and your fellow brother from the same community. The elections are a simple exercise of choosing worthy leaders who will ensure our inclusion in national policies. welfare, and our nation's development. It is not an exercise to divide us through violence.
Meanwhile, former President John Dramani Mahama has urged Muslims to let unity, tolerance and respect for human lives guide them as they celebrate Eid al-Adha. This is contained in a statement issued by his office. Here are extracts.
In spite of the novel coronavirus pandemic that has taken their lives and impacted negatively on the people around the globe, our trust in the Almighty remains absolute and unshakable. Let's remain united, tolerant and have respect for human lives.
Now, let's stay on politics because former President John Mahama has exchanged jibes on Twitter with one of President Akufo-Addo's closest confidants, Gabi Asare-Ochidako, over a campaign poster. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me with more. First, tell us about the campaign poster and what Mr. Mahama has had to say about Gabi's tweet.
So this is a poster that had the photograph of the NDC flag bearer and running mate Professor Nana Jino Pokwajman, and it says, vote #John and Jane to rescue Ghana's democracy from elephant-sized governments, financial sector, health sector, agri sector, and insecurity. And so Gabi tweeted this picture and saying that clearly incompetence can be both chronic and incurable, transcending electoral cycles. How can any serious alternative government promise to rescue democracy from financial sector, health sector, and agri sector? What will be left? Whoever is leading the NDC campaign publicity doesn't get it. Then the former president tweeted responding that clearly some psychosis can lead to unrestrained obsession. The ad referred to is not official and it's obvious to all. Besides, I thought our, in quote, PM would be busy with weightier matters of state than an amateur ad put out by an overly enthusiastic supporter of our party.
I see. Interesting banter there. You're still listening to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. We're taking a short break. We'll be back with business as well as Spotlight.
Well, Kuzumbu Wazo is actually saying that come and let's party, come and let's have fun.
Many ways there where you go feel use your MTN Momo wallet make payment with scan to pay, where you go use the QR code, or you go feel use the merchant ID or on bank POS terminal. You go feel also transfer money between mobile money wallet and bank account, all on MTN Momo. Enjoy real convenience in all your financial transactions and live life the brighter way with MTN Momo. We are good together. Just Momo it. We're there for you everywhere you go.
We give you nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Boost and stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Boost and stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
We know it's important to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in your employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is regulated and licensed by the National Health Insurance Authority to provide medical insurance services to institutional clients, families, and individuals. Apex Student Package and International Medical Solutions are all here to cushion you. Visit Apex Health Insurance Office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, or call
0501-683-914
or 0232-000-015. In Kumasi, we are located opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and in Takoradi, Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
Do you know that the Electoral Commission is undertaking the compilation of the new voters registered this year, so we will register again?
Every Ghanaian citizen of 18 years and above and of sound mind, ordinarily resident in an electoral area, is eligible to register.
What steps will be taken to ensure the safety of the applicants?
Every applicant must wear a face mask before entering the registration center. No face mask, no entry. You will wash your hands with soap under running water. The temperature will be checked, while you maintain a minimum distance of 1 meter while in the queue. Your finger will be checked for an electoral stain to know if you've already registered before being sanitized. Your data will be captured on Form 1A. You will provide the officer with your residential address, your GPS address, your hometown address, your town and district, as well as the full names of your parents, dead or alive. Then you will be sent to the data entry clerk. The clerk will sanitize the scanner before capturing your fingerprints. He will then type your details into the biometric system, take your picture, and print the Form 1C and give it to you with the Form 1A. You will thumbprint the Form 1A in front of the laminating clerk. Then the clerk will cut out the card parts of the Form 1C. Then laminate your new voter's ID card for you. Your finger will be dipped in an indelible ink. Hand sanitizers will be provided before you leave the registration center.
When are you going to register?
Daddy, I registered during the last electoral exercise, so I won't register again.
Oh, don't you know that this is a total replacement of the old voters register? It means if you have registered before, you have to register again.
Hey.
You will need either a passport or your national ID card to register. If you don't have a passport or a national ID card, you must provide 2 already registered people to stand as your guarantors.
What about your mother who's too old to join the queue?
Vulnerable, persons with disability, older adults, pregnant and lactating mothers are not left out. Download the Voters Registration Form 1A from the Electoral Commission website, www.ec.gov.gh. Print it, fill it out, and bring it along with your passport, national ID card, or 2 guarantors to the district office of the Electoral Commission or to the registration center to register. Note that only the vulnerable, the aged, pregnant and lactating mothers will be allowed to print out their form online and bring it to the district office or the registration center.
Register to vote. Your vote is your power.
You're welcome back to the Eid edition of Newsnight. It's time for business, and George Yaffe is here. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak.
What's in business?
Well, Araba, coming up in business, tourism and creative arts minister Barbara Otingisi rejects suggestions that the current investment laws discriminate against those who invest in the tourism sector. And transport fares set to go down by 10% from tomorrow. We'll be hearing from the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you? Let's now settle for the details. Now, Tourism and Creative Arts Minister Barbara Otingisi is rejecting suggestions that the current investment law discriminates against persons that invest in the hospitality sector. Now, this follows concerns by some businesses that they are not enjoying the same benefits when they actually go into that space. But the minister disagrees.
Support, and then we can push tourism even further. And we are doing that. So we are getting road infrastructure to our tourist sites being improved.
Are things going to change in terms of the infrastructure, or it's more of what the cliche about work in progress, or it's works in the pipeline?
Things are going to improve.
And that's the Tourism and Creative Arts Minister Barbara Otingisi. For those who have missed those canopy walk on the Kakum National Park, well, there's an opportunity to enjoy that from tomorrow morning. This because managers of the facility are set to reopen it to the public. It follows the easing of restrictions by government as part of measures to reopen the economy as coronavirus cases stabilizes. Now, according to managers, patrons who want to go, who have to visit the place, will be subjected to strict screening and also go through the necessary protocols. Meanwhile, the Tourism Minister, Barbara Otingisi, says they are working to improve the road network to these areas.
The Kakum National Park is our leading tourist facility in Ghana.
In terms of revenue?
Yes. And when you look at the road that was going to Kakum, I mean, it was in a very poor state. So definitely, if you recognize that this is a place that is generating so much income for you. A lot of people who come here want to go to the Kakum Park. Then we needed to do something about the road. For instance, we introduced the paragliding, and the road up to the mountaintop was in poor state. And yet we want to build that into like a quarterly event so that we can drive more numbers coming to participate in the paragliding.
And there's the tourism minister and creative arts, that is Barbara Otingyesi. Now, the price you pay for transport would go down by 10%, that is from tomorrow morning. It follows the decision by the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, to reduce fares by that margin. Now, this was after government actually reversed restrictions on the number of passengers that these commercial transports can actually transport because of the coronavirus actually stabilizing. Let's hear from Chairman of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Kwame Kuma, who says they are working with the local assemblies to enforce this reduction.
After the meeting, the communique has gone out, and now we are writing a letter attaching the communique to all the regions, and they also will send it to their branches. Because of that, we have given a time frame for us to educate the public and for them to make this thing. So everybody will comply. If you're interested, they comply. So if you are doing it also, everyone is supposed to comply.
Think that you have an effective mechanism in place to ensure that I comply if I'm a driver?
Yes, we have a mechanism. All the stations, the letters are going, and we're discussing with you.
So Kwame Kuma is the national chairman of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. So from tomorrow, all those who won't use the bus terminals, you're going to have a 10% reduction.
So they should expect the reduction.
You should actually demand that.
Because I know that some mates are very stubborn. So they wouldn't. Thank you very much, George, for business. Okay, let's turn our attention on Professor Kwame Nahoy, former local government and rural development minister. He's launched his book in which he's been sharing details of how Ghana rejected a request by U.S. President Ronald Reagan for the release of 400 Ghanaians to America. This was one of the demands for the release of former President Rawlings' relative, Michael Susudis, arrested for espionage in the U.S. He read portions of the book titled Working with Rawlings.
The Americans then sent a signal to Accra that they were prepared to negotiate an exchange between Michael Susudis and their Ghanaian assets. The government agreed in principle to the negotiated exchange in a return signal to them. The negotiations began in a very bizarre fashion. The CIA sent down to us, through the embassy in Accra, a list of almost 100 Ghanaians, including the names of some very prominent citizens, all of whom they claimed were their assets. They wanted to take out all these persons, as well as their spouses, their children, and their parents. The Americans provided their full details, including their addresses, their schools, in the case of the children, their workplaces, and various other particulars. They wanted to take these assets and their relations away to the USA.
That's a former Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Professor Kwame Nahoy, reading extracts of his book titled Working with Rawlings, which was launched yesterday. Time for entertainment now, and legendary hit life group VVIP have for years entertained Ghanaians, but Salah days are often been super special as they hold a major concert at Nima, where they hail from. Today on Spotlight, we celebrate the group that started as Vision in Progress.
Hey, what up? Vision in Progress, VIP, was made up of Lazy, known now as Zeal, Promzy, Prodigal, but initially also included Bone and Friction. Their initial involvement with music started way back in the early 90s at Nima, suburb of Accra. The founder of this group is actually Friction.
Well, Kuzumbi Wazo is actually saying that come and let's party, come and let's have fun, And it all came just because of this Salah thing. We started doing this Salah Fest back in 1999.
Following the exit of Promzi Reggie Rockstone, known as the godfather of Ghanaian rap, who back in the mid-90s, Christian, the new genre, hip life, joined the group.
After publicly declaring his intent to join the music group VIP, the hip life grandpapa, Reggie Rockstone, has finally been confirmed as the newest member of the group.
Strong, dancing with a smartphone. Let's go. No, the Delilah, fresh, rasta, straight on the gym to the shower. Back in the hour with the power, feeling so sexy. Took a selfie, old school, full of blue, you know me.
New group's name changed to VVIP and have since produced smash singles like Selfie, Kolum, Dogoyaro, and many more. Salafest is the carnival to celebrate Ghana's largest congregation of Muslims at the end of Ramadan. The whole-day celebration of Eid in Nima draws audiences from across the entire country, especially residents of Accra and Kumasi.
As you can see what is going on here, the crowd is going crazy. I'm talking about when Kwakesi came on stage, it was off the chain. Keche killed it. No, there are too many artists backstage right now, and the young boys are doing fireworks. So, and the crowd is like 2 times from last year. They say they will stop me, but I look them, they laugh. Because I see them like toys. Somebody say go, go, holy go, 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 holy go.
VVIP has won many awards such as the Best Group of the Year at the Afrima Awards 2015, Best Group of the Year at the 2015 Ghana Music Awards, among others. To pass on the legacy, they have recruited a young, talented singer, Miyaki, to the group, sparking speculations of a future generation of the group.
We've been there, done that.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your support for VIP, VVIP, all these years. And I say to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, Barakah Salah, and we pray Corona will go away and leave us alone.
Are you ready? Who got the key to the bench? Who got so many friends? Who's the Johnny on the yard? Who make the girl them bad?
Everybody. Unfortunately, that's how we wrap up Newsnight, the Eid al-Adha edition. Our top story today: police in the Savannah region have arrested one of 2 women captured in a viral video whipping a 90-year-old woman. We heard from her explaining that she did so because she was under a trance. There are more stories on myjoyonline.com. My name is Araba Koomson. Enjoy the rest of your